Here's the show that loves to talk about gadgets and gizmos, from A-Logic to Yamaha, cameras to control panels. You get what I mean. We love talking all things techie. In fact, that's the name of the show. And here is your host, Justin Dawson.
Hello. It's Justin Dawson. It's episode 70 of the All Things Techie podcast. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Sunday, the 26th of February. If you'd like to get in contact with the program, you can do so by contacting me through the All Things Techie website, our official website. That's going to be getting a major overhaul in the not so distant future, listeners and viewers. You can visit us at www.allthingstech.ie. Wonder how we did that with the name of the program, All Things Techie. You can also tweet me directly at Justin or Dawson, and we have a show Twitter feed as well at AV Tech Junkies. We love when you watch us on YouTube as well. So you can visit us on our YouTube channel. Just search for All Things Techie, where we have just hit. I think we need a drum roll here. Drum hole, party noise. We'll go with the party noise. Yeah, that really didn't work. We did DJ air horn. 5,000 YouTube subscribers. Let's do that again. 5,000 YouTube subscribers. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the All Things Techie podcast recently. And we're on all the major podcasting platforms, wherever you get your podcast as well. If you download as well. And our figures are crazy high as well after Integrated Systems Europe ISE 2023. That's really blown us out of proportions with the amount of people that's viewing and listening to our show wherever you get your podcast, or if you like to watch us as well, and when we talk tech and audiovisual in an Irish perspective. I am your host, Justin Dawson. Thank you for all your support over the past couple of years. It's really grown. Gives me something to look forward to every Sunday as I now do weekly podcasts. Now, what's coming up in the program? Well, we're going to be talking about Clearcom. That's coming up later on. We catch up on another post-ISE interview. Virgin Media, one of our Irish TV broadcasting groups, got hacked during the week. The National Cybersecurity Centre is investigating a cyber attack that stems from an unauthorised attempt to access Virgin Media's systems in recent days. Virgin Media Television, one of Ireland's most popular TV broadcasters, has suffered a major hack that may cause some disruption to its usual services. While Virgin Media confirmed to media outlets that it's been able to contain the matter, an investigation into the reported cyber attack is ongoing. The broadcaster said that the company has been hit by an unauthorised attempt to access our systems in recent days, and the incident will affect some of its programming on Virgin Media 3, 4, More, and the online VMTV player. Now, I noticed on the on-demand player, it's really out of date. Like, it's a couple of weeks even out of date on some of the programs, and still probably catching up. Seems that they have contained it. I remember watching their breakfast show, that usually when I'm getting the kids ready for school, listeners, and the normal things that they might have, like such as their news ticker on the bottom of their screen to tell you what the latest Irish news is, and the little clock in the corner was missing. So these random things that must have got hit on different servers, but they seem to have been able to contain it. While we complete our review process, our precautionary protocols have included temporary disconnecting of some of technologies to ensure the ongoing maximum security, the company wrote in a statement. We expect normal service to be resumed as soon as we have completed a review and verification process. Following the news of the hack, Minister for State of the Department of Communications, Usain Smith, TD, confirmed that the National Cybersecurity Centre is aware of the cyber attack. An investigation is now ongoing. The matter has also been reported to the Gardaí. The broadcaster said it has a pre-planned procedures and precautions in place which are immediately activated in such instances. Virgin Media Television operates a stringent cyber protection measures and systems across all our operations, the broadcaster said, adding that some of its technologies have been temporarily disconnected until the investigation is completed to ensure maximum security. It also confirmed that the hack relates to Virgin Media Television only and does not relate to any Virgin Media Ireland operations such as broadband and mobile. Now, interesting enough, more than 200 cyber attacks with theft of personal data has been reported to Irish authorities in a year. The Data Protection Commission investigators are examining the reports in keeping with the GDPR reporting laws. There has been over 200 cyber attacks in Irish companies, which private data was accessed or stolen by hackers in the past 12 months. Graham Doyle, a Deputy Data Commissioner in the DPC, said that incidents were individual breaches that were reported to the organisation in keeping with GDPR reporting laws. The confirmation of the incidents come just after a week after it was determined that personal data of staff and some students was exposed in the Munster Technology University MTU hack, which we reported on our last podcast. Well, each of these reports require an investigation by the Data Protection Commissioner. Brian Honan, as former cybersecurity advisor to Europol and current CEO of BH Consulting, said that other incidents go unreported. There are a lot of breaches that are happening that aren't really being reported as well. This is either because the organisation doesn't realise that they're legally obliged under the GDPR to report a breach, or they don't believe the breach is reportable. They are solving the problem themselves and carrying on with business, he says. And that is a huge... I say there's a lot of hacking incidents that go unreported between businesses and so forth across Ireland, but it is a legal obligation. So, but I was in a staff meeting for my university, and it feels like it's not just if this happens, it's they're getting to the idea of thinking when it happens, because there's so many ransomware and hacks going on, and seems like universities is a new key one to try and get through. Of course, one of our biggest hacks was our health service executive that got hacked just near the end of COVID, and a lot of stuff leaked on the dark web as well, and data breaches there. But we're now thinking in a university capacity of like, what is the contingency plan? Like Munster Tech University had to close for over a week to contain the hack, and unfortunately some of the stuff got hacked or leaked onto the dark web in a ransomware attack. So it's really questionable about, well, how do you contain it? What do you do? How do you keep on teaching how do you even keep on broadcasting? Like Virgin Media Television there that just was able to switch back to maybe some of the easier ways of doing tech. But also in Ireland, well, you know, we reported tech layoffs keep on coming. Google to announce a layoff of 240 Irish staff as part of global job cuts. The announcement comes amid uncertainty with the tech industry, with many firms announcing job cuts in recent months. Google is set to cut 240 jobs in its Ireland offices as part of global layoffs announced last month. Google's European headquarters are located in Dublin Docklands and has a full-time employee base of 5,500 staff. It is understood that 85 of the layoffs will be in sales, 80 jobs will go in technology and engineering, and the remaining 75 job cuts will impact support functions. Google staff were being informed of the job cuts on Wednesday morning. The company said that a consultation period with staff is set to begin from Thursday. Google has made the Department of Enterprise aware of the job cuts. In January, Google's parent company Alphabet announced plans to cut around 12,000 jobs globally. You just really do hope that this is the end of the job cuts and layoffs in the tech area. You really do. And as I said in episode 69 of the All Things Techie podcast, if you are one of these people that are affected, please reach out. We do a series called Under the Spotlight as part of the All Things Techie podcast, and would love to talk to professionals in the tech industry if you are hit with these job cuts, or even if you're not, if you want to just tell us how you got involved in the tech industry. We love to hear from you. Here's how you get in contact on Twitter.
make sure to follow us on Twitter. All Things TechIE Podcast.
We're on at AV Tech Junkies, and we are also at Justin or Dawson if you want to tweet me directly. Well, also, if you are listening to us, please view us on YouTube.
We not only have voices for a podcast, but also faces for YouTube. Don't miss your next episode. All Things Techie Podcast.
Yes, if you search All Things Techie Podcast on YouTube, you will find our episodes, and our playlist of all our episodes is available on our official website, www.allthingstech.ie. Now, I honestly thought that we were over this whole rigmarole of people flying drones into Dublin Airport. No, doesn't seem to be the case. Like, one of my friends in England actually sent me a message saying, cut it out. And I thought he was joking. Well, he was, of course, joking. I am not the person that's flying drones into Dublin Airport, listeners and viewers. I'm not. But I thought, well, you're a bit behind in news there, because that happened 2 weeks ago. And he's like, no, this is a brand new one. So, like, we did have the guards did arrest someone, and there's other people that are flying drones into Dublin Airport. Now, Dublin Airport, like, you do have a road right beside Dublin Airport and a security fence. So whether people are just sitting in their cars and letting loose and flying drones in, and, you know, maybe they're cheap drones, but it's so disruptive, and a lot of questions asked of, like, why is there no security being put on Dublin Airport? Well, the Irish Times, one of our national newspapers, said Dublin Airport drone disruption. Ryanair rejects criticism of being asleep. Ryan, as in Eamon Ryan, rejects criticism of being asleep at the wheel. There's no cast iron mechanism where problem can be completely eradicated, the minister says. The Green Party leader Eamon Ryan has denied accusations by Ryanair that he's asleep at the wheel when it comes to drone disruption at Dublin Airport. Flights were disrupted for half an hour at the airport on Tuesday last, following a further drone activity in the area. It is the latest such incident of the small remote control aircraft being spotted in the sky surrounding the airport and disrupting aircraft schedules. In an interview on radio during the week, Minister Ryan, Minister for Environment, Climate and Communication and Transport, spoke of his intention to meet airport operator Dublin Airport Authority on Wednesday last to discuss the disruption. He said his department is doing everything in its power to find a remedy to the situation at Dublin Airport. We are doing everything we can to include further meeting morning with Dublin Airport Authority. But if you listen back to some of our podcasts, Mark Prendergast, who's a founder of Safe Drone Academy and a flight captain with an Air 320 and Aer Lingus, said, while I hear you, and this is a quote from his LinkedIn post, while I hear you and something needs to be done about response required, it is extremely complicated and both technically and legally to stop drones from flying into Dublin Airport. You can't just block the 2.4 GHz or 5.8 GHz without knocking everybody else offline. It is indiscriminate response to the undesired outcomes. Aeroscope is limited to detecting DJI drones only. Can be spoofed, of course, or you can have a cheap drone and has trouble in high RF areas. It is not a robust solution. Handheld drone gun devices are only very short range. Even if that worked, the drones could already be inside the perimeter of the airport, causing disruption. Most of the better counter-drone systems are military systems used in military operating environments, and so mostly unproven and complicated and congested commercial airport environments. In any case, there's no legislation for intercepting and taking out drones. Where does the drone crash down to? Who is responsible for that outcome? We don't have a robust legislation to charge people for flying these drones in airports when they are caught. But indeed, the response is definitely not the DAA's, as in Dublin Airport Authority, to figure out or implement. It's certainly an area for the DF However, they have been in resource neglected for so long they don't have the capacity or the capability or process for it. Sadly, there's no quick fix here, says Mark Prendergast, founder of Safe Drone. We have had Mark on the All Things TechIE podcast in the past, and I think it's episode 4 or 5, way back at the very beginning, talking about drones, and when there was a couple of these incidents a couple of years ago, and they're still ongoing, but it seems like it's quite common now in the past 2 or 3 weeks for people flying drones into Dublin Airport, and he's getting plenty of responses, and we'd love to hear your comments on it. We'll try and get Mark back on the podcast, All Things Techie podcast, to talk about this again, but he's pretty much put it in one post. You can't go about jamming the 2.4 and 5.8 megahertz frequencies that civilian drones operating on, and you don't need a DJI drone, for example. You could have a cheap €50 drone that is causing disruption by just literally flying it over the fence into Dublin Airport. And even if you fire it down or find some way of disrupting it, it has to land somewhere, which also causes disruption. You can't leave a broken drone on a runway, and we only have one runway in Dublin Airport. Let us know what you think. Please tweet me at Justin or Dawson. You can also tweet the show at AV Tech Junkies as well. And we're on our official website, www.allthingstech.ie.
Follow on Apple Podcasts.
All Things Techie Podcast.
Or wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all the major podcast outlets: Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and of course, if you like watching the program, you can watch us on YouTube as well. The All Things Techie podcast. Would you let ChatGPT control your smart home? This proof of concept video by Josh.ai shows how AI language models could finally make your smart home voice assistant, well, actually smart. Today you can ask Alexa to turn on the lights, or say, "Hey Siri, tell you the temperature in your bedroom," and sometimes they'll get it right. Or you can hear, "You have 15 devices named lights, which one would you like to control?" Or, "The current temperature in Kathmandu is 53 degrees. But what if your voice assistant was not only always accurate, but could also respond to nebulous comments like, "I've had a rough day, what's the good way to unwind?" with intelligent responses. For example, by lowering the shade, dimming the lights, adjusting the thermostat, and queuing up for goodies on Netflix. And this is an article from The Verge. And when I read it at first, listeners, I was like, but do you remember the fun things that people did where they just took an Alexa and a Google device, a Google Home device, and got it talking to one another? Technically, you are using AI on smart devices that are talking. Well, if they're not smart enough, yeah, it's an experiment by Josh.ai. Nothing to get excited about. Would you use ChatGPT? I don't. You know what? Even though it's just ChatGPT, it's like, it's still an AI that's running smart devices. So it will always make mistakes. You know, it will always tell you that when you ask it to dim the lights or turn off the lights, they ask you which one. You have to be more specific. But if you go into the likes of Google Home and you can program it that if you use the words, certain words, it will actually do what it is supposed to do. So for me, that's the way I work around it. So like, even if I have it that if someone rings my video doorbell, it will actually turn on my TV, select the right source, and show my stream live, and also announce on my speakers at 50% volume that someone's at the doorbell or at the front door. That works for me. Why would I need ChatGPT? Anyways, there's a story. We put it on the show notes, theverge.com. Good experiment by Josh.ai, but not gonna get overly excited about it. What else? Here's how you review.
Make sure to leave a review. This makes our day and fuels future episodes.
All Things Techie Podcast.
Staff working at the European Commission have ordered staff to remove the TikTok app from their phones and corporate devices. Really? Is there that many politicians that actually have TikTok on their phones? I can say it now, listeners and viewers. I have never opened up the TikTok app. Not going there. Not going there. The Commission said it's implementing the measure to protect data and increase cybersecurity. TikTok, owned by the Chinese company ByteDance, has faced allegations that it harvests users' data and hands it to the Chinese government. TikTok insists that it operates no differently from other social media. EU spokeswoman Sonia Gospodinova, apologies, Sonia, if I pronounced her name wrong, said the Corporate Management Board of the European Commission, the EU's executive arm, had made the decision for security reasons. The measure aims to protect the Commission against cybersecurity threats and actions which may be exploited for cyber attacks against the cooperative environment of the Commission, she said. The ban also means that European Commission staff cannot use TikTok on personal devices that have official apps installed. Well, makes sense, but really? Do a lot of politicians, people older than me, I'm nearly 40, use TikTok? Really? I don't think so. Now we're getting to our interview of the week, listeners, and Clearcom, a HME company, has been a trusted global provider of professional real-time communication solutions and services since 1968. They innovate market-proven technologies that link people together through wired and wireless systems. Clearcom was first to market portable wired intercom systems for live performances. Since then, their history of technological advancements and innovations have delivered significant improvements to the way people collaborate in a professional settings where real-time communication matters. For the markets they serve, broadcast, live performance, live events, sport, military, aerospace and government, their communication products have consistently met the demands for high-quality audio, reliability, scalability and low latency, while addressing communication requirements of varying size and complexity. Their reputation in the industry is not only based on their product achievements, but also on their consistent level of customer engagement and dedication to delivering the right solutions for specialised applications with the expertise to make it work. Well, earlier in the week I caught up with Ben Turnwell, Regional Sales Manager for UK, Ireland and Israel, and he told me a bit more about Clearcom and what new tech they brought out at Integrated Systems Europe 2023. It's the All Things Techie podcast. We have a great episode. I've been doing so much reading up on Clearcom, and Ben Turnwell is the UK, Ireland and Israel. That's very specific. UK, Ireland and Israel sales manager for Clearcom. He was appointed earlier in the year in January as regional sales manager for UK, Ireland and Israel. Ben previously worked at a leading AV systems provider, Tech, Autograph Sound and Amber Sound, as all of which are Clearcom partners. Ben's background primarily lies in technical theatre. I think we're going to have to find out more about his background in a minute. Ben, welcome to the programme.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah. So, look, what a background! You've been in technical theatre. You've been. It sounds like you have a wealth of audio experience.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so I've been technical theatre is where I started. Really graduated from Edinburgh with a degree in technical theatre. I've done everything from small regional theatre shows up to big West End shows, music, live touring. My background's really in the live part of the market, and then moved into doing a lot of sort of systems integration and installations in those venues.
Well, you can drop some big names. You've worked for you've done theatre production for Queen Margaret University in London, and enjoys music, watching rugby and travelling. Go on, name a big gig that you have worked on. Then I guess you've worked in all types.
Yeah, so I think I provided all the comms, which on Clearcom for Ed Sheeran's tours.
Wow.
So the latest tour and the previous tour, so the Divide tour.
Wow.
That was where where the production team upgraded their comm system to use FreeSpeak 2 wireless comms. They were running a much more complicated show. Some theatre things, I implemented all of the comms onto Aladdin when that was in the West End. It was involved in the comms providing for Hamilton, the musical. So they're just a couple.
Well, I used to do live events as well. I still do a couple of live events for the higher ed where I work, but once you take a step away from live events, you get your life back again. I guess that's what it feels like. All that rigging and de-rigging and early starts and late finishes. I'd say you don't miss it.
Loading a truck in the field at 4 a.m. to go on to the next gig for 8 a.m.
Yeah. So I say the likes of going over to ISE and talking as a sales manager for the whole day for a week was a walk in the park for you.
Absolutely, I quite like it. I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy chatting about products and projects, and socializing with people, networking.
Well, Clearcom have brought out a lot of new products, Ben, to the market at ISE. Really, like I love looking at the case studies for Clearcom from your NATO Austrian submarine dive. You have the like working with even machine utilizes Clearcom technology for expand communications with critical lunar missions. Like Clearcom is absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we span a whole range of various industries. Some pretty cool ones on there, like the stuff with NASA. A lot of marine and industrial communications as well, which is quite fascinating. We've got a lot in motorsport as well. We do stuff for MotoGP, for a couple of F1 teams. And the bread and butter for Clearcom is live events and theatre and broadcast as well.
So Clearcom Encore Party Line Intercom Systems is one of the new features that you brought out to ISE. Explain a bit more of the.
ISE, we were showcasing Arcadia, which is our sort of latest offering in the comms world, which is a turnkey solution. It's the sort of intercom system that makes interfacing into all sorts of industry possible through a simple 1U managed device. It's future-proof. It incorporates everything. We think of it kind of like a comms hub. So it's the same 1U base station can do wired comms, digital party line, wireless comms in various frequencies, up to 100 belt packs, and it's scalable as well for users. So it's a field upgradable, scalable solution.
So, do you guys like? I was looking at the fact that as you mentioned that it does multi frequencies, multi band range. You don't have to worry about like going from country to country and going, God, what bandwidth? What band am I supposed to be on? That's not going to interfere with other.
So we sit in. So we sort of sit. The wireless side of it sits in 1.9 gigahertz, 2.4 gigahertz, or 5 gigs. There are some restrictions around the world on 1.9 gigs, places in China, and other than that, there is a solution in those areas. We can use a different antenna, the same base station, and operate the FreeSpeak Edge belt packs, which is the 5 gigahertz solution.
Nice. What I really love is you have wireless intercom systems going on. FreeSpeak 2 is a 5-channel full duplex wireless intercom solution ideal for large scale complex designs or specialized applications requiring team members to be untethered. Of course, when you're doing live events, that is essential.
Absolutely. So that was one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons a lot of the theatre shows take it, because it is incredibly reliable as a system. You can't be tethered with cables if you're backstage, or if you're calling a show, or your stage crew. and you're moving set around, you have to have good, reliable comms, and there's an element of safety to being able to, on a comms network, everybody needs to talk to each other. If there's a show stop, there's the communication is vital on there.
Now, we talked a moment ago about critical lunar missions and so forth, but what is the range? Like, how far can a person be from the actual main hub?
That is dependent on the environment mainly. 1.9 gigahertz is works better in sort of more open space. So we could get pretty far. I mean, we were covering at ISE, we covered pretty much all of the hall we were in with one antenna.
Wow.
We were able to do
and just for listeners who weren't at ISE, they are big halls. I walked 16.5 kilometers on the Wednesday, and it was only at 3 o'clock that I look at my Fitbit and go, oh my God, I need to have a rest.
Yes, it's many thousands of steps. They're big halls. So we were able to cover that. 5 gigahertz works slightly differently. It works better indoors than it does outdoors. It needs reflections to extend the range. So, if you're in theatres and in events venues that aren't arenas, 5 gigahertz is a great solution to use. And 2.4 is is affected by all sorts of things, Wi-Fi related, mobile phones, that kind of stuff. So the range is it's dependent on the venue, really.
Yeah, but I love the fact that, as you say, you've worked in theatre, you have stadiums, you're working with so many government agencies. I think that's a real claim to fame, being able to work on lunar missions and stuff like that with this technology.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It is when critical comms is the thing. Clearcom has got many applications that we use.
Now, to control it all, I guess everything has to go through this virtual desktop client, the Station IC.
So Station IC is an extra feature that can be used with any of the systems we have, with Arcadia, with the Matrix systems, and with LQ. So it basically gives the users of their mobile phones an application that allows them to have a key panel to enter the comms network. So you can, a user maybe that doesn't necessarily need a panel in front of them all the time, somebody that's maybe not in the venue but in an office but still would like to be on the comms network, they can have it hosted on their PC and click to listen and talk on any of the keys.
That is amazing. So, in other words, if I'm in a theatre or in a stadium, I need to talk to you specifically, I can just key in your intercom number and be speaking with you directly, or I can matrix whoever I want to speak to. Is it one-to-one, or on a mobile phone you could do as many as people as you want?
It's essentially a wireless key panel. However the users set that key panel up, it can operate to do, some of the keys can do point-to-points, they can talk to party lines, they can talk to a conference, you can talk, you can get the show relay directly into your phone, and it utilizes the speaker and mic on the phone as well.
That is incredible. Now, to do, you might have your base units, then you said the 1U that would sit in a rack that could control a venue. But if you're doing a temporary venue and bringing things in on as a roadie into a venue, would it be the same type of setup? Would you still just have one unit rack and connect it to the network?
Yeah. So if you take the Arcadia, for example, if that probably sits. Let's say we're going into an arena or a stadium, that sits in the main rack. Antennas all run over the network, all on a point-to-point network, and you place those around the stadium for coverage. FreeSpeak 2, you get the option to do a site survey with, so that the comms tech or whoever's looking after the comms system can go and do a site survey to work out where the antennas need to do. It's all configured over the network, all configured through the web browser, so there's not even any software to install on a machine. You configure it all through the CCM that's hosted inside the 1U base, and it's pretty simple to set up, or it can be as complex as you need as well. So it's a very scalable system.
And is it license per user, or is it?
No, so it's licensed per solution. So Arcadia comes in several different flavors. There's a 16 port version, a 32 port version, a 48 port version, a 128 port version, and you license however many ports you need. And it's a port. Each port's a good way to think that potentially there's like a channel maybe in live sound world. So that makes it a very scalable product.
It has unlimited amounts of uses. Like when you talk about those ports, and as you mentioned, it's like multi-channeling a mixing desk, for a better word. You could do it that way. It's incredible amount of I actually, you answered my question before I even seen it on my sheet there. The Eclipse Digital Matrix intercom system is a highly scalable as well. This was another product brought out to IC.
The Eclipse system is something that Clearcom have done for quite a long time. It's a part of our bread and butter product. It's a very big, very scalable system. Matrix, that side of Clearcom is all very new to me, having only been here 3 weeks. My background's mainly been with all the live stuff, but picking up on the Matrix stuff, all of the big stuff with NASA, all of our critical comms use the Eclipse system, and we've recently added to that with new panels, so the Iris X panels, which are a new feature.
Well, I tell you something. The whole idea of like lunar missions, at least you're in the sales end of things. You're not in the tech support end where you go trying to figure out whether this is working or not. I'd say your tech support team must be huge.
Our tech support team is fantastic. Yeah, it's a big team, and everybody that's in tech support is incredibly knowledgeable. Our applications engineers, they know everything about all our systems. We constantly try, get them involved in all parts of what we do in sales, what we do in product development. The applications engineers really do apply the product correctly to each user, because nobody really uses comms in the same way. There isn't a way you are told you have to use a comm system like this. It's completely customizable to the users. On an install in a theater, NASA, the military and government stuff we do, it's all very different. So we have a very, very knowledgeable, very good tech team.
So how quickly did you have to jump into the deep end, Ben? Like you mentioned, you joined in late January with Clearcom. I know you've worked in partnered bodies to Clearcom, but which might have used the tech, but it pretty much was a baptism of fire to go over to ISE.
Absolutely. I started on the 25th of January, and I went to ISE on the 30th.
Oh my God! Right, so yeah.
So it was my background is I've always been the comms guy. When I first started at Solitech, I was the comms guy. When I was at Autograph, I was the Clearcom guy. Amber Sound, I got heavily involved in Clearcom as well. So I knew enough, but it was a bit of a baptism of fire, absolutely.
And as I mentioned, a very, very specific job title where you have Ireland, England, and Israel. How did they throw Israel in there?
That is an odd one, yes. That is, as they were, because there's been some changes at Clearcom recently, they've reassigned the territories and the area managers for those. So I picked up Israel in that. I shall work out why soon, but quite looking forward to going over there and seeing a whole load of different projects in that part of the world and see how those guys do things as well.
Now, I know it sort of brings us, no pun intended, back down to earth. That was a terrible pun. From talking about lunar missions to Ireland, England, and Israel. What is your main case studies then in Ireland and England with Clearcom?
Sorry, what was that?
What's been your main case studies in Ireland and England? Like what have you been mainly working on with some partners and customers?
So there's a few sort of large live event stuff to come out soon that we're still working on partners with. the Ed Sheeran tour, that's happened again.
Yes, of course.
He's still a Clearcom user. He's over down in Australia.
Actually, I did read that a lot of your Clearcom equipment is used in VAR scenarios as well.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot used in VAR. It adds another string to the bow.
Yeah, if only we could, as football fans, if only we could hack into that matrix and be able to listen into to what like you mentioned, you're a big rugby fan. At least with rugby, you're able to hear what the ref is saying back. If you tune in, it's even in our Irish stadiums where they're doing the Six Nations, you can tune your radio in and listen to the referee if you wanted to for the 90 minutes. But sometimes with football, you just go, God, why are they taking so long? Or can they not display this on the screen in stadium to find out what's going on? Like Sky Sports know before the people in the stadium know.
Absolutely, I think that's all down to FIFA, isn't it, and their rules and regulations.
Yeah. Now, a lot of new features come out at ISE. Is there some secret surprises for Infocom?
Secret surprises, maybe nothing that we're going to shout about just yet.
But a couple of new things on the pipeline. So there's
all these products are always we're constantly trying to keep our products new, keep all the feature set current. So things will be announced soon as and when the team bring them in.
And I guess
saying no, I'm not telling you.
Okay, right. Well, I'll have to get in touch with Bubble Agency and sign some NDAs with Clearcom as well, and find out what's coming out soon, because I have to say, exciting. I'm very impressed, not just by your case studies, but the whole idea of being able to key it in by mobile phone. I think is a great feature. You
can use your cellular network for that as well. So if you can be anywhere, so long as you can get you can join the VLAN, you can join onto the same network as the comm system in whatever country you're needing to be in. You can monitor and you can be as part of that comms network.
Now, if more people want to find out about Clearcom, where'd they go, or how do they get in contact with you, Ben?
Well, the website's a great start, clearcom.com. Wherever you are in the world, all of our contacts are on there. Obviously, I'm in the UK, and people can find me on LinkedIn.
And what's your next event then? What's your next trade show event? I guess it is Infocom.
Trade show event, I think it's a media production show in London in May.
Oh yes, yeah, of course, yeah, and then of course, being a predominantly broadcast ends of things, I guess you go over to NAB and
NAB. That is in April. Yeah, we'll be over there. Infocom later in the year, and then IBC in September, and a couple of their theatre shows as well.
Wow! So forget the fact that you left the live events industry. You're still traveling just as much.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. I love traveling, so it's all good.
Well, listeners and viewers, that's all I have time for episode 70 of the All Things TechIE podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us on YouTube, where we hit 5,000 subscribers. Tell your friends to download, subscribe, share, and keep listening, keep commenting. And we'll see you next week for another episode of All Things TechIE. Goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to All Things TechIE podcast, part of the Extreme Media Network. Follow us on Twitter at AVTechJunkies. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch our show on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/@Justin_or_Dawson. Previous episodes of our show can be found on our official site, www.allthingstech.ie. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie.